In the beginning of the film, there is a mention of secret research related to dogs that were once prepared for World War II. All these experiments fell under a program called Project Silence. During a government meeting at the so-called Blue Building in South Korea, Jung-won, who serves as a deputy director of security, briefs the council on a terrorist group demanding ransom for several abducted Korean citizens. An election is about to take place, and Jung-won suggests staying focused on the upcoming election, believing the terrorist incident might be a mere distraction or propaganda. This point of view sparks heated debate among the ministers, who worry that ignoring the matter could damage the administration's reputation. One minister named Hyun-baek, a presidential candidate, sides with Jung-won and commends his bold stance. Jung-won has a child, Kyung-min, whom he hopes to send to college overseas. To pay tuition, he sells his house. While driving Kyung-min to the airport, Jung-won chooses not to pay for fuel, in part because the station attendant, Jo Park, who operates a tow truck, treated him discourteously. Meanwhile, Yu-ra, a golf athlete, is unable to compete due to a passport issue caused by her manager, Miran. They come across an older married couple, where the grandmother mistakenly identifies Yu-ra as a relative, revealing that her memory is not always reliable. Suddenly, a thick fog blankets the city, greatly reducing visibility and forcing motorists, including Jung-won, to drive cautiously. However, an online influencer continues speeding while live streaming, resulting in a serious accident that triggers a multi-vehicle pileup. The limited visibility worsens the collision. Miran and Yu-ra are confused by the chaos around them. Elsewhere, Jo Park hears a radio report about the massive traffic jam caused by the pileup and realizes Jung-won could be among those stuck. Intent on confronting Jung-won, Jo Park heads to the crash site. Among the vehicles involved in the accident is a military transport carrying a doctor and several specially bred dogs from Project Silence. One soldier discovers to his shock that the experimental dogs have escaped, foreshadowing trouble ahead. Jung-won, trying to navigate the fog and the collision scene with Kyung-min, becomes stranded on a bridge. At the same time, Hyun-baek, the presidential candidate, attempts to contact him for a press conference, as Jung-won is a key member of Hyun-baek's campaign. Unfortunately, the traffic jam makes it impossible for Jung-won to respond. While Jung-won assists two soldiers and a doctor whose vehicle was damaged, those soldiers decide to check on fellow team members who aren't answering calls. They discover one of their comrades severely injured, and both they and the doctor instantly realize the hidden threat. It involves the experimental dogs. Meanwhile, Kyung-min steps out of the car and approaches a strange-looking dog. Fortunately, Jung-won arrives just in time, causing the animal to flee. The soldiers inform the doctor that the dogs have all broken free, prompting great concern. The doctor tries to call in a helicopter, but the signal in that area was intentionally jammed earlier by the military. Jung-won identifies himself as a government official and insists he has the right to know what is truly happening. The soldiers, however, handcuff him for pressing the matter too aggressively. Jo Park soon arrives on the bridge and is directed to tow a police vehicle. Meanwhile, the doctor uses a laptop to track the escaped dogs, warning Jung-won that he must stay alert if he wants to survive. The doctor attempts to remotely guide the dogs back into their transport vehicle. Though a large portion of them are contained, the leader of the group, E9, remains free. The dog known as E9 exhibits remarkable intelligence and strength, beyond the doctor's control. Tension builds on the bridge as E9's presence looms over everyone trapped there. The doctor explains that Project Silence was meant to train dogs' minds to detect and pursue serious threats, but the project failed, leaving these enhanced animals destined to be discarded. No one, however, anticipated the current crisis. Jung-won grows increasingly uneasy as the dogs begin to attack people. With communications blocked, no one can call for immediate help, and the scene descends into panic as bystanders scramble to protect themselves from the dog's sudden aggression. E9 even manages to injure the commander. Jung-won, the doctor, and Jo Park flee together, only to find their path cut off by flames blocking the bridge. At this point, Hyun-baek learns about the emergency on the bridge, including the details of Project Silence. Although the project was intended to create highly capable service animals for anti-terror operations, it appears to have taken a dangerous turn. Through a walkie-talkie connection, Jung-won speaks with Hyun-baek, demanding action against the threatening dogs. However, these animals were originally sanctioned by government and military interests. A sudden explosion of a tank containing toxic gas forces everyone to retreat into a bus. Jung-won urges Hyun-baek to send a SWAT team to eliminate the dogs and rescue the survivors. E9, meanwhile, rallies the other experimental dogs, programming them, so to speak, to attack anyone in their path. Jung-won realizes that most people on the bridge have no idea they are dealing with genetically altered animals. For their safety, he hastily explains to onlookers that these are rabid dogs, even though the real truth is that they are failed experiment subjects. Eventually, a SWAT team arrives to handle Project Silence, ordering everyone else to evacuate. At first, the dogs remain hidden, so the rescuers proceed cautiously. Suddenly, several car alarms begin to ring, signaling possible movement by the dogs. The situation grows tense, and Jung-won can do little but stay near his child. A group of reporters waits at a distance, hoping for updates on the crash. Hyun-baek becomes increasingly worried that none of the SWAT members can be reached. Jung-won and Kyung-min hide in the luggage area of a bus. Desperate to maintain contact with Hyun-baek, Jung-won heads out to recover his walkie-talkie, leaving Kyung-min with the doctor. While searching, Jung-won meets other stranded survivors, some of whom are badly hurt. This weighs heavily on him, and he starts formulating a plan to escape the nightmare on the bridge. At the bus, the doctor quietly confides in Kyung-min that all of the experimental dogs, including E9, are essentially clones that originate from a single genetic line. In effect, E9 is akin to their parent, holding tremendous hostility due to the suffering inflicted on its offspring through repeated trials in Project Silence. Realizing there is fuel on site, Jung-won crafts makeshift torches for protection. He also notifies Hyun-baek that the remaining survivors have all learned about Project Silence. Hyun-baek grows uneasy, fearing negative political fallout. Eventually, Jung-won and the others spot a different bus that shelters the doctor and Kyung-min inside. Unfortunately, the group comes under attack by the rampaging dogs before they can enter. They fend off the animals with torches until someone opens the bus door. Terrified, the doctor hesitates, but Kyung-min finally lets them in. Jo Park is angry at the doctor's reluctance and nearly lashes out physically. Jung-won contemplates sacrificing the doctor as bait for the dogs, but Kyung-min proposes setting a trap instead. While preparing the trap, the elderly woman from earlier, who was already wounded, passes away. Devastated, her husband volunteers to distract the dogs, hoping the others might escape. Managing to flee, Jung-won's group locates Jo Park's tow truck, which might be their key to leaving the bridge. However, the truck keys remain inside the bus, where they have just locked in the Project Silence dogs. At this point, the doctor confesses that Hyun-baek is the official who approved Project Silence while serving as Minister of Defense, using it as a stepping stone to become a presidential candidate. Horrified, Jung-won calls Hyun-baek to express his disappointment, accusing him of sacrificing ethics and others' safety for personal ambition. Learning that Hyun-baek has even recalled all rescue teams and is prepared to demolish the bridge entirely, thus erasing any proof of Project Silence, Jung-won realizes time is short. The crumbling bridge and a cloud of toxic gas both threaten to endanger any survivors still present. The doctor urges them to locate the missing laptop, explaining that each dog has a brain implant that might allow remote deactivation if accessed correctly. Jung-won volunteers to act as live bait, going inside a cage to divert the Project Silence dogs, so others can retrieve the tow truck keys left in the bus. Yu-ra, using her golfing skills, breaks the bus window, allowing Jo Park to grab the keys. With E9 and the other dogs drawn to Jung-won trapped in the cage, the structure begins sliding over the edge as the bridge starts to collapse. Jung-won also scrambles to find the doctor's laptop. He nearly falls along with the cage, but Kyung-min courageously uses the tow cable to hook the cage to the truck. Safely hauled back onto stable ground, they manage to drive away. Awaiting them at the far end of the bridge is Hyun-baek, flanked by reporters. As soon as Jung-won exits the truck with the laptop, he confronts Hyun-baek, striking him before the press, and detailing how Hyunbaek authorized Project Silence for political gain without taking responsibility for its catastrophic results. Hyunbaek is then taken into custody. In the final moments, viewers learn that E9 survives the disaster, along with one of its offspring. And with that, the film ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.